Hello everybody and welcome back to my last video on the series on how not to get robbed. So I left this one for the end and we're going to be talking about how to spot contracts and see whether they are safe or not. So by now you should know how to check for liquidity lock timer. You should know how to check if the ownership is renounced. You should know how to track the owner's wallet for spotting previous scam tokens. You should know how to check for irregularities or hidden owner wallets, and you also understand how the burning works and how it affects the ownership. In today's video, we will analyze through whether the contract is safe, and this is becoming increasingly popular, and it's the hardest one to spot because you need some programming language to read the code, and also because the contracts are usually very long. Sometimes they make contracts that are over 2,000 lines long. Okay, so for this, we are going to go through a quick tool that I use for these situations. I don't expect you to know programming or anything like that. So we're going to go into staysafu.org. This is a token that actually gives you some information regarding the token. So when I go here, staysafu, you click on scan token and then it will give you this website. So you're putting the contract address in there, and once you're inside it will give you a lot of information regarding whether this is a rug pull or not, and it will give it a score to know how safe this is. So what I'm looking here is not whether liquidity is locked or not, because as we said before, liquidity could be locked. However, it's not locked for a long time. The holders may look safe, but they made a bot from different wallets. The ownership has to be renounced. This one you can actually see it here. And if you see ownership none, this is actually a good thing. However, even though there is no ownership, this could still be a rug pull. Okay, so here we get a little bit of information. And the most important part that we want to take a look at, since we already know how to do most of this part, is looking at the minting. That's part of the contract functions. It has to say that is not able to mint. Then at the bottom here it says honeypot safety, and this is the one we care the most. This is possibly not the best token to do this, since this token is unverified. However, when it gets verified, it will give you a score and it will show you here whether they can do any of these functions. So I'm going to quickly explain you what do these mean. So blacklist means that the token can prevent a specific address from selling. Modify max transaction, it basically does that. It modifies what's the max transaction that can go through. Max sell means the token allows you only to sell a maximum amount. Modify fees means that they can change the fees and charge you as many percentages as they want. So they can increase it to 100%, therefore you will lose all your money if you try to sell. And disable trading is exactly that, just you're not going to be able to trade anymore. So on any of these functions, if they trigger any of these, their objective is to stop you from trading, to stop you from selling. And if they can do that, the only thing they have to do is wait for the liquidity to unlock, whether it's in a week, in a month, in a year, and then just take absolutely every single dollar in the token. Okay, so that's what you want to be careful with. And just take a look at this section down here. And if there is anything that looks fishy, then I would advise you not to invest in the token. As I said before, if the token ownership is renounced, they can still may have some functions that allow them to perform certain actions. So you have to be careful that even though it says ownership renounces none, that this also passed the test. Okay, so if you do all that, then you should have a more confidence level going into a trading position. Something important that I wanted to point it out is that even though the liquidity is locked, the holders look safe, that the ownership is renounced, that the burn is right, that there is no blacklist, max sale, modified fees, disabled trading, or any possible rug potential, they can still have done it through different ways that I'm not going to discuss right now, but nothing is completely safe. And also there is always the factor that some people may just buy and then sell, and even though the contract was safe and every single possibility was safe, a lot of tokens actually fail just because of lack of marketing, or people go in and then go out and they take their profit and they leave, and then you're stuck holding your bag. Okay, so that's it for today. That's the last video of this series. If you like the content, once again, like and subscribe below, and stay tuned for more content.